Let's bring in Rosemary Momanyu-Apio, the SME lead for East Africa in Google. Good morning, Rosemary.
Good morning, Eric. How are you this morning?
I'm very well, thank you.
Morning, Do. Morning, City.
Good morning,
Good morning,
Rosemary.
Rosemary.
We've not seen you for 2 days. Where have you been?
I know. I'm back.
2 whole days.
2 whole days.
Mm.
Good to see you.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
So we've been having conversations for a couple of weeks now on how people can take advantage of very many tools and platforms that are provided by Google, getting yourself and your business online. Many of them have done that. Many have registered. Just give us a feedback of what you've seen, you and your partners at Africa 118.
Yeah, we've seen during the short time the calls come in for sure. We've seen a lot of businesses coming online and taking their business profiles. We've seen them getting views. And so we're hopeful that this will be the beginning of a turnaround for them as they pivot themselves digitally now to come online and to hopefully grow. So we are seeing success, and we are going to hopefully highlight one today who can share his story about his success so far.
Okay. And when someone now gets their profile online and you talk to Africa 118, how long do I get this support from your partners?
Yeah, it's available indefinitely. So in the event that you want to have your profile created, it's verified instantly. Within a few hours, it's available on Google and Google Search and Google Maps. If you want to have a Google Ads campaign set up for you, you have your first month at no cost support. And the goal is to try and help build your capacity. Therefore, in month 2, you're able to do it yourself. So the goal is to really equip the SMEs with the tools they require to do this for themselves. But if they require support, we're available for them Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay. When we were speaking with you off air, you were telling us that you've sampled some of the people who have taken advantage of this, and you'd like us to speak to hear from some of them. Introduce to us the person who you'd like us to talk to today.
Yes, his name is Salim. He's based in Malindi, and you'll hear about his business and what he does. And ultimately, he got to hear about business profiles from this Spice FM show a few weeks ago. Called our partner, got his profile created, and now he's live. He sells 2 lines of products. We'll hear more about what those products are. And then just this past Friday, he had his first Google Ads campaign go live. So we'll get to hear from him about what he has seen so far. But overall, he heard about us from this radio show. He took the initiative, made the phone call, got the profile up and running, and now we can get to hear about his experience now that he's online.
Okay, and he is actually on the line. Good morning, Salim.
Morning.
Good morning.
Salim Khan, thank you very much for joining us. Good morning to you, man. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for inviting me to speak.
And we also thank you very much, and thank you for listening to us and even taking action, Salim.
I'm an avid listener.
Twakushukuru sana ndugu. Now, Salim, tell us about your business, and then you shall tell us your journey through getting your business online, getting a call to Africa 118, and what you've received so far support.
Well, I'm a handmade paper maker, and I also make handmade natural soap and moisturizing creams. I started making paper in the early 90s, registering the business name Tena, marrying the 2 languages, English and Swahili, which meant recycle.
So it's called what?
Tena. Sorry? Tena, yes.
Cycle with a C-Y-C-L-E.
C-L-E, and then Tena as in Swahili, kurudia.
All right.
Yeah. So, I started first making paper out of just paper, which is quite easy to collect. And then I've sort of ventured into making papers out of, more exotic, exciting papers like baobab bark, market, kitchen, garden waste, corn sharp. One of my boats is then making the paper out of the water hyacinth, for which I made some wedding invitation cards for Jeff Koinange, for example. So, that's the kind of paper that I make. Yes, so it's recycling and just making handmade paper and making products out of that paper, notebooks, lampshades, all manner of things, business cards, invitation cards, gift cards. And then on the side of the soap, this is natural soap. And the idea behind that was really to add value to the very good oils and fats that we get from the region, in the Eastern African region. We have things like cocoa butter, shea butter, and I think, already you've covered a bit about the soap, and, you know about the virtues of natural soap.
Yep.
So these are the two main activities that I'm engaged in.
Brilliant. And so have you been running your business from fixed premise, like a shop? Or had you tried to go online before?
Interesting you should ask that. The business has been a bit nomadic. I've carried this out wherever I've gone, all the way to Uganda and back, like even here, all the way like Lord was. So it's shrunk and expanded quite a number of times. And wherever I have had access to maybe setting up a shop, like in Kampala, I had a container that I was operating out of. But then, I've been moving around quite a bit. So this is why I felt like, this was an opportunity that with partnering with Google and knowing at least who I am and moving around, although I have settled now. Where I am, I have a shop, I have enough space to work out of, so now I'm fixed. I have a shop, and this is a showroom where I display all my products.
And where are you?
I'm 30 kilometers outside of Malindi, on the way to Tsavo East National Park, on the road, in an old farmhouse. And even my choice of location is a bit deliberate, because it allows me to carry out these two activities. They're separate activities, but like down the road, I've been able to marry them. For example, if I make a soap that has baobab oil in it, then I'll wrap it in my baobab handmade paper. And in between the process, even like whatever I do to boil up the baobab is beneficial for me as lye to put into the soap. So it's integrated, it's like an ecologically friendly activity. And like I said, I've managed to marry my two activities together. But even on their own as standalone activities, they're quite interesting.
So you decided to go ahead and get on this, right, and have your business profile created, and then even gone on to have your ad campaign done as of last week. What have you seen? What differences have you seen since you got on board? How has business changed?
Well, if you start the journey, from when I called F118, I think like Rosemary has already said, the response was immediate. I got the profile set up in no time. Now, I have personal challenges, which of course I don't expect, for example, Google to take care of. But this is where, like now, for example, I'm not very techno savvy, and where I am at the moment, I don't have power. So keeping up with them and also with searching, I know like from the time that I got the business profile online, from there you see searches, views, and activity. You can see those numbers going up. But, I still have to catch up with actually like what's been happening between when the ad campaign was launched and today. Just like switched on. I'm not even talking to you on the smartphone. So like when I do get online, I'll know. Yeah. In short, I'm waiting to be updated as well. But already from my point of view and from what I do, even just what I saw from the time that the profile went online, for me it's a pleasure just to be able to share even just photographs, just to let people know that I'm still there and this is what I'm doing. And because you see, like even the products, even before this, from the time that I started doing what I do, I felt like my products lent themselves to e-commerce. So like this is a wonderful opportunity. So already the reaction, the early ones are very encouraging.
If I may ask, let me premise this by saying I think what you're doing is wonderful, and that your products are specialty products, so to speak. Now, anecdotally speaking, when you actually decided to partner with Google, have you received more calls? And even if you didn't, what has your client base been? Do you have 300 clients? Do you have 10,000 clients? And has the number increased? At least this is something that you could know.
Well, from the time that I partnered with Google, it's just been like a few days really. And from the time that the campaign has gone on, I haven't really had any conversions, or if I may use that term. But I am hopeful, because we've just started this campaign. There's not teething problems, but even just getting the details right has been a process. And then there's a weekend in between. Today's Monday. So I think after perhaps, and they have a team. From the time that I called Africa 118, they did their part. Now I'm dealing with a marketing person, and it's just Monday. Let's see, because I'm waiting to hear any activity from there.
So I've put the cart before the horse. Maybe we should ask you this question maybe in 2 months' time, say in January, say.
Well, yes, because I think it takes time. Although, even me, my first impression is Google. The minute you press that button, the whole world knows who I am and what I'm doing. But, even from the way I understand, it's a bit more targeted. It will take a little bit of time. For instance, even for me, I feel like I've posted more photographs and images than are actually appearing. But then, you get to hear that it does take time. You have to be a bit patient. But I think, like you said, once it kicks in, I'm sure there'll be a good response.
And I'm sure once you actually run that campaign, the advertising campaign for a month, you are definitely going to see some. I've Googled you, and I've just gone to Google and typed cycle Tena, which is cycle like a bicycle or motorcycle, cycle Tena. And I've seen cycle Tena Enterprises. It shows me here that you are a recycling center in Kakoneni. It even links me to the map. It tells me you're in Sosoni, Kakoneni, Malindi. So there's a place called Sosoni.
Yes.
You didn't know, Eric,
and
now
Kakoneni, which is 30 kilometers from Malindi on your way to the Savo.
Yes. Right. And incidentally, even going towards the Malindi Solar Park. So, for me, just before COVID hit, I thought I was positioning myself in quite a strategic place. It's a kind of product that it's a bit upmarket, but at the same time, when it comes to the soap, within East Africa, I could get you my soap anyway. That's how things have become nowadays. Yeah.
And I've seen that you've also been able to even update your photos. So there are some very beautiful photos of that. Is this your shop?
That's the front of the shop.
That's the front of the shop. Beautiful. I mean, it's got some very good display. And then I'm also looking and seeing that you make lampshades.
Yes.
And then these handbags.
Well, yes.
So
soaps. And you see some soaps. Yes.
Soaps there.
Those are my main activities.
All right. And then the cards that you were talking about earlier, I presume that's what I'm looking at here.
Yeah.
Nicely done cards as well. And so you started your advertising campaign over the weekend.
On Friday.
On Friday.
On Friday, yes.
So how is that advertising campaign? How did you go about setting up the campaign? Did you target it to only people in Kenya, only people in Malindi? How did you decide who to target in that campaign?
Of course, I first sent in a list, a request for markets outside of Kenya, and I think there's a reason for that. But then, of course, listening to their advice, and these things you do have to spend for. So, in order to have, in a sense, a sustained campaign to start with, we targeted just the main towns in Kenya.
Okay.
Maybe even for logistics purposes. But if I can just mix in a bit of what I'm hoping the journey will be with Google, is if in layman's terms, I can say what they're doing is they're giving us platforms and tools. For me now, those platforms are like the PPE, everything, so that we can equip ourselves, and then the tools to slash our way to get onto these highways that they have built. And in these highways, you have many lanes, pedestrian, mkokoteni, fast lane, but at least they hold your hand, and they're supposed to get us there. Then also with that training, then you decide which lane you want to be. If you want to be pedestrian, you say that. But now with this ad thing, and this is how I understand it, something that you pay for. So with this ad thing, perhaps what they're doing is they're putting me in the fast lane for a certain time. You understand?
Yeah.
But also the way they've zeroed in, they've seen what my terrain is, and that's why they're helping me out. I don't know if I sort of answered what your question was. If I haven't, please repeat your question.
I think you've answered it pretty well. Rosemary, you sound like you have a very good convert here. somebody who
Yeah.
believes in wanting to try. This is the spirit of an entrepreneur. You can basically just listen to an
Yeah.
entrepreneur and can tell this is an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
They can see the opportunity and they can see how they can grow, and they want to
Yeah.
dip their feet in it and experience
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and Salim is not unique because he said he's not technical savvy. He struggles, but he says, you know what, I know I don't have the capacity, but I want to learn. So so he says, Rosemary, can you please just hold my hand, just pull me? He goes, oh, pull me, help me come on and learn this new skill. So he's definitely eager to learn, and he's not savvy, but he wants to learn, and that's where you start. You start from a desire to really want to change and pivot yourself. So with Salim, he's all the way in Malindi. He's not technical savvy, but he got his business profile up. He put the pictures, he put the address, the location, and on Friday he went live with his first ad campaign. Again, just willing and eager to learn. So for me, it's to encourage people like Salim to don't be afraid. Don't, even if you don't understand technology, you don't have a smartphone, it's fine. Just get the desire, make that phone call, let us hold your hand, let us pivot you upward and help you rise up. And that's Salim's story.
Have you dealt with many?
If I may just add just
Yes,
one
go ahead,
story.
Salim. Go ahead.
As if I may say, and this is something I think Rosemary has alluded to in the past. I haven't been able to hear all your programs because really I have that on a single lamp with a radio. So when the sun doesn't shine, I miss out on a few of your programs. But what she did allude to was that, other than them holding our hands, we are in this sector, any sector, a bit shy of also, coming to the attention of certain authorities.
Yep.
And I hope, already, she has alluded that also these are the partners that will perhaps come and hold the other hand, and maybe the other ones also give a slight push from behind. You understand?
That's true.
Let's say like KRA, there's NEMA, there's Bureau of Standards, people like that. I think already I know they're quite accommodating towards the needs of the SME. But, I think that is something also they need. I think Google is doing what they can, and we also have done this. But at this stage, I think we are hearing the right noises, but, we need to get in touch with each other.
It's interesting that you raise those issues, actually, Salim, because when you talk about now you're making soap, you're making products that are to be used by people, then there's the issue of quality, there's the issue of the standard of the product that you're using. So have you thought about that, about how you can get support from KEBS, for example, to get a standard mark of quality, or how you can work with KRA then to formalize your business? And what kind of response do you get from those other institutions?
Of course, I have been in touch with, let's say, for example, the KEBS people who have, furnished me with what the criteria, as it were, is, what needs to be done. But then also there's limiting factors, and there's questions that, perhaps I'd like them to be a bit more clear about. If I make this specific, for example, the soap that I make, I'm not mass producing one type of soap that, I can get certification on.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that you dabble in, and from what I've been made to understand, if I just vary the thing, then it might cost me about 5,000 shillings to have one product certified. And I already have a range of about 50. So maybe clarification on that, how flexible they might be towards things like that. Because otherwise what I do in order to be just under the radar is you exploit those loopholes of just things like a cottage industry that just sells at craft markets and to friends.
Yeah.
I think we need a little bit more, like I said, maybe holding the other hand and a little bit of a push from behind. I mean, if Garwa can even come and say, this moment, my personal challenges which Google cannot take care of, I need to sort out, but I still need a push with that sina stima in case what power Malindo Laskiza was there. There's these laughable things that really, if I put in place, now it's like Google, I invite them if they want to come and do a video shoot, but I'm worried, because when you Google and search, you think, hey, this product, this place is high tech, but calm down really, if Google can zoom in a bit more, and zoom in on the terrain now, although it is not a mandate, but I'm glad at least now we can start addressing things so that, I can start producing this. We have to come out of this COVID thing also. And this is why I look at it as an opportunity. I don't have to be a nomad from Kampala all the way here. Now the world should know where I am. This is what I do. And they know where the market is. And they know how to plot a route for me to that market quickly.
Salim, that's a very encouraging story, and we wish you all the best, Salim Khan, as you run this business. Once again, let me just tell everybody, the business is called Tena, one word, Tena Enterprises. He is based in Sosoni, Kakoneni,
Yes.
Malindi, Kilifi County.
And I hope maybe in the future I'll be able to send you at least a gift pack so you can like maybe have a competition or something. I'll include some of my products in
All right, yes, that's true. That's very true.
Just plugging for some business. Maybe even do you guys some like business cards, things like that. And if I may just plug in during this time, and Kenyan outfit for whom I also contract produce called Wild Earth Botanics. You know, just to explain a bit about the soap and cosmetics business. I make wonderful creams, but you know, I have like from the personal challenges packaging, but I do make nice products. You know, this is networking with others and encourage them to take advantage of what Google has done and is doing.
Sure. Well done.
Thank you for your time.
Asante sana. Rosemary, you have something to give this gentleman. I mean, surely. You know, with everything else. Eh?
It's been a privilege.
Salim has my heart already. For sure, we're supporting him with the Google Ads campaign. He got a complimentary voucher from us to have his first ad campaign built, fully funded by Google. And of course, if you have any more hampers remaining, Eric, please, can you just give one to Salim from us?
We will donate one from one of the winners.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Salim, one of the Google hampers comes to you as well. I mean, well done and congratulations. You're doing a good job. And it's a good thing to hear people doing the kind of work that you're doing all the way in Sosoni, Kakoneni.
It's going to be on your lips
today,
isn't it?
Asante sana. Have a good day, Salim. Rosemary, so
bye, Salim.
That is one business that we've talked to. Who do you want us to talk to tomorrow?
So tomorrow, I think I got a question from CT and from me about the finance bit and how to have SMEs access finance and what are the criteria for eligibility for applying for those loans. So one of our partners will be on air tomorrow to answer those questions about, as an SME, if you're looking for financing, what are the requirements and how to ensure that you are eligible to qualify for those types of loans. So we'll have a partner on the call tomorrow who can answer those questions and guide the businesses on how to go about being eligible for financing.
So people who are thinking of, you know, taking a loan, expansion loan and all that can listen to the show tomorrow and we'll hear how we can take advantage of this.
Absolutely.
Asante sana, Rosemary. Have a good day.
And you too.
Thanks, Rosemary.
Thank you.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.